Well, I'm kind of bored, so this is why I'm here right now. Uh, the video's not good, the audio's not great by any means. The headphones are the best thing here. So I'm only doing this because, like I said, I'm bored, and I just kind of wanted to, I guess, talk about college because I just started my second semester of college. I didn't think to do anything like this for the first semester, but I think second semester, if I could do something like this, maybe kind of keep track of what's going on. I don't know. I think that's a decent idea. And if I do upload this online, then it's been a long time since I've made a video. Uh, and as much as I'd kind of like to get back into YouTube, I don't think it was really for me all that much, or I just don't have that much time. But I don't know. I guess I'll just get started here. The thing that I just wanted to talk about was my week, college. What's college like? Maybe someone sees this and has some questions, or maybe I just watch this 5 years from now or something just to see what it was like. But yeah, no, it was the first day back or first week back from college, uh back from winter break. Uh First week back to college, and the first semester overall a pretty good semester. It was I liked some parts of it. I definitely liked um the food sort of. No, I don't know, but the freedom, that's I think what I was really going for. It's a lot different from high school for sure. It's not as uh by the bell, and like I don't know, it's not as structured, and so that's kind of good. But in a way, it's definitely not for everyone because everyone talks about going to college, like everyone needs to go to college, but that's not the case. I mean, like at the job that I'm working at Taco Bell, like, there's people there that have been working there for years and they seem to be doing pretty well, or at least they seem fine. They haven't changed jobs. Maybe that's not their choice. Maybe they would be worse off if they ever quit, but maybe no one else. Anyway, um, but the first semester, pretty good. I would say didn't I didn't study as much as I wanted to. That's for sure. It was maybe a little more difficult than I expected it to be, but overall it wasn't that bad. But this semester is definitely going to be a lot worse. It's looking to be that way, sort of, but it's looking to be like a more fun semester overall. So tell me how that makes sense. It's going to be more challenging, but it's going to be more interesting, I think. Maybe now that we're starting to get into more engineering concepts. So for anyone who might be watching this, I'm doing engineering in college. Um, and so that's what I've been doing is mostly kind of like math and science classes. But this semester, like I have Physics 121, which is I guess just the intro physics for all engineers and other people. Speaking of which, the professor had asked that during one of her during the first lecture, and no one had responded. No one, everyone there was an engineer. I'm pretty sure is what it was. I don't think anybody raised their hand unless they're just, they don't want to raise their hand, which I mean, that's not too far off from what I do. So like, why out yourself, I guess. Even though it's not that big of a deal, but um, yeah, it's like physics. It seems interesting enough, funny enough. On Wednesday, so it is the 14th of January, so of 2023. I guess that's how I'll date this. Um, on I guess what was it, the 11th then, Wednesday. Um, we were going into vectors, which I learned a bit of vectors in high school from high school physics. I mean, it's pretty hard to get through high school physics without learning vectors. So there's that, but then I went to my calculus 3 class after that, and it was about more vectors. It was the exact same lesson, pretty much, like learning the exact same stuff, the same definition. Crazy. It was, but it definitely went different directions. Then they went different directions than each other. And of course, calculus is gonna have more of a math side of it. Physics is gonna get more real world. So, you know, but other than that though, like I've heard some difficult things about calculus. Looking at it, I mean, this beginning stuff about vectors with like, I don't even know. It's like a vector over, like divided by a vector, but there's two parallel lines on each side. I don't know. It's about unit vectors, I guess, but I don't think I really fully get it. Um, there are office hours though. So if there's something that ASU wants to cram into your head, it's that every professor has office hours, or even the grad students and the TAs. They all seem to have office hours of some sort. Um, but yeah, and then there's linear algebra, which I've heard some really horrible things about linear algebra, but it's only the first week. And this is, I guess, kind of the point of this is to catalog how I feel, I guess, over time. For the first week, not that bad. It's pretty smooth. It's about matrices, and it actually is a bit mesmerizing. It's weird, but it's really satisfying to, I don't know, like solve a matrix. So, I'm liking linear algebra is the point of that. And then I have English. Professor's great. Like if there's anything that I'd say, like at least it is, yeah, sorry. Thought I heard something. Or someone talking to me, but I live with my family still, so maybe someone's talking to me. I'm not schizophrenic. If that's what uh, you know, that's not the case, hopefully. But um, where was I going with that? There's anything that, at least with ASU, Arizona State University, that at least with ASU, I'm sure that's the case with a lot of other state colleges, but like professors, a lot of professors are great. Like if there's something to know from college is like at least these first 2 semesters, most of the professors are pretty good. There's a couple that are like they're there to do their job. I think that's kind of the linear algebra professor. Um, and he doesn't seem to have a lot of patience, but like the English professor, I mean, extremely friendly. Um, yeah, extremely friendly. Great professor. I think they're all great professors. Just, I mean, I don't expect all of them to have the same personality. So, and it might be a bit boring if every single professor was just like, oh, like extremely nice, um, but there are some that are very much like that and very willing to help you out and work with you. So like it's definitely something like, hey, something that I wish I knew ahead of time was like professors are not scary. And also on a similar note, not every professor has a PhD. I don't know if this is like a common myth thing, but like I thought up until going to college that every professor what had a doctorate or a PhD of some sort. Um, but that's not the case. I don't think my English professor has one. My intro to programming class with MATLAB um, is, I think, a student, like a graduate student that's teaching, or someone who just got their master's. So, like, the point is, not everyone has a PhD, which is kind of not what I expected, but definitely for a lot of classes, like my chemistry class, definitely has a PhD. Um, both of my calculus professors so far have like had PhDs, so probably some of the more like I don't know, I guess like not really skilled, but like more mm, more they're people who need to know a lot more detail about what they're talking about. Like you don't need a PhD to be an English teacher. You know, you just need to have written a lot, read a lot, spoken a lot, like know a lot about English. But like with math, I mean, you can technically do the same thing, but like you then have to dive into research probably and like really learn to understand all of the concepts. So not that English is easier, but I mean, it's definitely not my forte, but um it just I think yeah, it requires more of it requires a PhD more than like an English teacher does. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, like I said, the English teacher seems great. She seems like she knows what she's talking about so far. So, and that's been the case with all of the professors. All of the professors seem maybe like a little more confident than last semester's professors, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Um, but other than that, um, I've just been eating Subway, or I had Subway once this week, and then Einstein Brothers the other week. Other than that, I mean, I don't like any of the restaurants there, or there's Chick-fil-A, but like there's a line for that, like a really long line. I mean, people like Chick-fil-A, so it's, you know, um, what else is there to talk about? I guess the next big thing to talk about is clubs. I'm only in one club right now, but I kind of want that to change. There's a chess club. Might join that. Who knows? Maybe that's such an engineering like cliche thing to do. I'm not really sure, but maybe when I go there, there will be like an engineer or like a mathematician or not mathematician, but wants to be. So maybe it is a cliche thing, but uh, it's the one club that I'm in right now, though, really interesting. I've definitely learned a lot about engineering more than the past first semester of college was. Not that I really expected to learn all that much about engineering. I did learn a bit. There was an FC 100 class. It was an intro to engineering class. Learned some stuff about Arduinos and a little bit about coding. Not so much. I mean, for most people probably not, but I ended up taking more of like the coding front for our final project. Um, but overall though, I would say like engineering, it's not too bad. Like I think it's just gonna take discipline. Like I'm gonna need to discipline myself more. I've been playing video games a little bit, so I probably shouldn't, but I'm too addicted to them. So we'll see about that. But because I almost messed up when it came to finals time last semester. But I'm doing good so far. And I guess if anybody does see this, like words of encouragement, like you can do it. It's not it's not as hard, I think, as people say. And when it is, there's always like it's always something next. I think that's something great about college too, is if there's a class they're really struggling with, if you can just get through it, you're done within a few months. Because for us, our semesters are 15 weeks each. So like if you can just make it 15 weeks and like if you know that that's like just the one class that you cannot stand, like chemistry, I couldn't stand that class by the end of it. But I made it through it and now I'm past it and now I don't have to worry about it ever again. So, I guess just push a little bit. It's not that bad. It's definitely bad. I'm definitely still scared if I ever try to go for a master's, but it's a little too soon to talk about that. Um, but overall, I thought this was an interesting video idea. Maybe I'll make more of them, each week. But anyway, yeah, that's pretty much it.